The hall had about 500 in it, women mostly, a lot of bald heads, and a dozen or two young men. The chairman was a weaselly minister with a reddish nose. He lamented our incompetent absence, participating on his influenza, and gave me a certificate as a trusted leader of Austrian Salt. There were 2 policemen at the door, and I hope they took note of that testimonial. And so Harry started. He had about a bushel of notes from what he read, and when he let go of them, he fell into one full-on stutter. Every now and then he remembered a phrase he had learned by heart, back and gave it off like Henry Irving. The next moment, he would bend doubled and crooning over his papers. He talked about the German menace, and said it was all a Troy impotent to cheat the poor of their rights and keep back the flood of social reform, but that organized labor realized this and laughed the Tories to scorn. He was all for reducing our navy as a proof of our good faith, and then sending German an ultimatum telling him to do the same or he would knock her into a cocked hat. He said that but for the Tory, Germany and Britain will be fellow workers in peace and reform. I thought of the little black book in my pocket, a giddy-lock sort of friend care for peace and reform. In a queer way, I liked the speech. You could see the niceness of the chap, standing out from behind the mug, with which he has been spoon-fed. I mustn't be of an orator, but I was 1,000% better than Sir Harry. I simply told him all I could remember Austria, all about its labor parties and immigration and the universal service, praying there should be no Austrians there. I doubt if I remembered to mention free trade, but I said there were no Tories in Austria, only liberals and liberals, and he started in to tell him that the kind of glorious business I thought could be made out of the empire if we really put our backs into it. Altogether, I fancy I was rather a success. The minister didn't like me though.
I'd like to propose a vote of thanks to Sir Harry for his statesman-like speech, and to Mr. Twisden, whose words had the eloquence of an emigration agent.
A ripping speech, Twisden. Now, you're coming home with me. I'm all alone, and if you'll stop a day or two, I'll show you some very decent fishing.
Back at Sir Harry, we had a hot supper and then drank grog. The time had come for me to put my cards on the table. Saw by this man's eye that he was the kind you could trust.
Listen, Sir Harry. I've something pretty important to say to you. You're a good fellow, and I'm going to be frank. Where on earth did you get that poisonous rubbish you talked tonight?
Oh, was it as bad as that? It did sound rather thin. I got most of it out of the Progressive magazine, and pamphlets that agent chap of mine keeps sending me. But you surely don't think Germany would ever go to war with us?
Ask that question in 6 weeks, and it won't need an answer. If you'll give me your attention for half an hour, I'm going to tell you a story.
I blinked, no detail.
So you see, you have got here in your house the man that is wanted for the Portland Place murder. Your duty is to send your car for the police and give me up. I don't think I'll get very far. There'll be an accident, and I'll have a knife in my ribs an hour or so after arrest. Nevertheless, it's your duty as a law-abiding citizen. Perhaps in a month's time you'll be sorry, but you have no cause to think of that.
He was looking at me with bright, steady eyes.
What was your job in Rhodesia, Mr. Hannay?
Mining engineer. I've made my pile cleanly, and I've had a good time in the making of it.
Not the profession that weakens the nerves, is it?
As to that, my nerves are good enough.
I took the hunting knife and did the old mouse nursing trick of touching it in the air and catching it in my lips.
Oh. I don't want proof. I may be an ass on the platform, but I can size up a man. You're no murderer, and you're no fool. I believe you're speaking the truth. I'm going to back you up. Now, what can I do?
First, I want you to write a letter to your uncle. I've got to get in touch with the government people sometime before the 15th of June.
He poured his
That won't
mustache.
help you. This is Foreign Office business, and my uncle would have nothing to do with it. Besides, you'd never convince him. No. I'll go one better. I'll write to the Permanent Secretary at the Foreign Office. He's my godfather and one of the best going. Now, what do you want?
He sat down at a table and woke to my dictation. Dear Walter, I hope this letter finds you well, and I must apologize for not being in touch for such a long while. I'm finding all my time taken up with the political business, even to the detriment of my fishing. Anyway, on to more important matters. Whilst going over Econav, I wanted to say that if a man called Tristan happened to make your acquaintance before the 15th of June this year, it will be to your benefit to treat him kindly despite what he may look like. The Tristan chap will prove he's modified by passing the words Blackstone and whistling Annie Lawyer. Listen carefully to him, dear uncle. He has something to say that might just wake you up. Cheerio and happy hunting, Harry.
Good. That's the proper style. Oh, by the way, you'll find my godfather, his name's Sir Walter Bullivant, down at his country cottage for Whitsuntide. It's close to Artonswell on the Kennet. And that's done. Now, what's the next thing?
You're about my height. Lend me the oldest tweed suit you've got. Anything will do, so long as the color is the opposite of the clothes I destroyed this afternoon. Then, show me a map of the neighborhood and explain to me the lie of the land. Lastly, if the police come seeking me, just show them the car in the glen. If the other lot turn up, tell them I caught the South Express after your meeting.
You did or promised to do all these things. I saved out the remnants of my mustache and got inside an ancient suit of what I believe is called heather mixer. The map gave me some notion of my whereabouts and told me the two things I wanted to know: where the mail line south could be joined and what were the wildest districts near at hand. He awakened me from my slumbers in the sleeping room armchair and led me into the blinking into the dark starry night. An old bicycle I found in a tool set and handed over to me.
First, turn to the right, up by the long fir wood. By daybreak, you'll be well into the hills. Then, I should pitch the machine into a bog and take to the moors on foot. You can put in a week among the shepherds and be as safe as if you were in New Guinea.
Thank you.
Think nothing of it. You got me out of a tight spot last night. Now, you better get cracking. Good luck.
I pedaled diligently up steep rolls of hill gravel till the skies grew pale with morning. I sat down and took stock of my position. I realized that my basic ground was in reality a trap. There was no cover for a tomtit in these bald green places. My enemies have located me, and the next thing will be a cordon around me. I didn't know what force they could command, but I was certain it would be sufficient. There might be a chance on the moors to the right or left. The airplane has seen my bicycle and will conclude that I would try to escape by road. Then I climbed to a knoll, which gave me a view of the two valleys. At other times I would have liked the place, but now it seems to suffocate me. Free moorland were prison walls, and the keen hills were the breath of a dungeon. I tossed a coin, heads right, tails left. Then I found the road map.
Good day to you.
He looked at me with a fishy eye.
Confound the day I ever left the herding. There I was my own master. Now I'm a slave to the government, tethered to the roadside with sair een in a back like a suckle.
The plight of the roadmen, though, was a difficult one. Breaking up stones and laying them across miles of Scottish track was a tough job indeed. He was a wild figure above my size, but much bent, with a weak beard on his chin and a big pair of horn spectacles.
Oh, mercy on me, my head's bursting. I can't do it. The surveyor man just report me, I'm for my bed.
What is your trouble, may I ask?
The trouble was clear enough.
The trouble is that I'm no sober. Last night my daughter Maren was wadded, and the dance still four in the byre. Me and some other chiels sat down to the drinking, and here I am. Pity that I ever looked on the wine when it was red.
Sleep sounds like your best bet.
It's easy speaking. But I got a postcard yestreen saying that the new road surveyor would be round the day. He'll come and he'll no find me, or else he'll find me foo, and either way I'm a done man. I'll walk back to my bed and say I'm no wheel, but I doubt that'll no help me, for they ken my kind of no wheelness.
Then I had an inspiration.
Where's your house?
I was directed by a waving finger to the cottage by the
Well, back to your bed and sleep in peace. I'll take on your job for a bit and see the surveyor.
He stared at me blankly then, and at the notion dawned in front of his brain. Faith broke into the basement drunken smile.
Oh. Hey, you're the Billy. It'll be easy enough managed. I've finished that bingo stains, so you needn't chop any more for noon. Just take the barry and wheel enough metal for your own quarry down the road to make another bing the morn. My name's Alexander Turnbull, and I've been 7 years at the trade and 20 afore that herding in Leith and Water. My friends call me Ecky, and Wiles Specky, for I wear glasses in wake of the sight. Just you speak the surveyor fair and calm, sir, and he'll be well pleased. I'll be back midday.
I borrowed his spectacles and filthy old hats, stripped off coat, waistcoat and collar, and gave him them to carry home. I borrowed too the false stump of clay pipe as an extra property. He inducted my simple task, and without more ado set off and then went back bedward. Then I set to work to dress up for the part. I opened the collar of my syrup. It was vulgar blue and white check, such as a ploughman wear, and revealed a neck as brown as any tinkerer's. I had a good deal of dirt also in the sunburns of my cheek. My boot did not satisfy, but by dint of kicking among the stones, I reduced them to the ground-like silver which marked a roadman's footgear. I broke one of the bootlaces and retied it in a clumsy knot, and loosened the other so that my thick grey socks bulged over the uppers. I bit and scraped my fingernails till the edges were cracked and uneven. The man I masked against would miss no details. I rolled up my sleeves, and there was a foreman. Had it been a blacksmith, sunburnt and rough with old scars, a woman's eye would no doubt be glitter and flame, so I compared stood in both of mine, and by dint of brushwood rubbing produced a bluey effect. This Sir Harry had given me had gone off with my coat, but the woven blunt tied up in a wet handkerchief was at my disposal. I digged up the bundle again and put the paper conspicuously beside it. On I went, trundling my load of stone with the heavy steps of the professional. Soon I grew warm, and the dust of my face changed into solid and abiding grit.
Are you Alexander Turnbull? I am the new county road surveyor. You live at Black Hopefoot and have charge of the section from Laidlaw Byres to the Riggs. Good. A fair bit of road, Turnbull, and not badly engineered. A little soft about a mile off and the edges want cleaning. See you look after that. Good morning. You'll know me the next time you see me.
Even my get-up was good enough for the dreaded surveyor. Just about midday, a big car strode down from the hill, hit a path and drew up 100 yards beyond. The three occupants descended as if to stretch their legs and slanted towards me. Two of the men I've seen before from the window of the gallery, one leaned soft and dark, the other comfortable and smiling. The third had the look of a countryman, a bet perhaps on a small farmer. Dressed in eel-cutting knickerbockers, and the eye in his head was as bright as wary as a hen's.
Morning! That's a fine, easy job of yours.
I slowly and painfully straightened my back after the development, back weakly after the manner of the low Scot, and regarded them steadily before replying.
There's worse jobs, and there's better. I would rather have yours, sitting all day on your hinderlands in 8 cushions. It's you and your muckle cors that wreck my roads. If we all had our richts, you should be made to mend what you break.
The old man was looking at the newspaper lying beside tons of
I
bundles.
see you get your papers in good time.
Aye, in good time. Seeing that paper come out last Saturday, I'm just 6 days late.
I picked it up, glanced at the description, and laid it down again.
You've a fine taste in boots. These were never made by a country shoemaker.
They were not. They were made in London. I got they through the gentleman that was here last year for the shooting. What was his name now?
I scratched the fuck off her head.
Let us get on. This fellow is all right. Let us get on. This fellow is all right.
Did you see anyone pass early this morning? He might be on a bicycle or he might be on foot.
I very nearly fell into the trap and told a story about bicyclists and passed in the grey dawn.
I wasn't up very early. You see, my daughter was married last night, and we keeping it up late. I opened the house door about 7, and there was nobody on the road then. Since I come up here, there has just been the baker and the Rachill herd, besides you gentlemen.
One of them gave me a cigar, which I smoked gingerly and stuck in Turnbull's bundle. They were out of sight in 3 minutes, and my heart leapt with an enormous relief. I went on wheeling my stones. It was well for 10 minutes later. The car returned, one of the occupants waving a hand to me. So gently that I missed the chance. I finished Turnbull bread and cheese, and pretty soon I had finished the stones. That was what puzzled me. I had noticed that the corner was still tight round the gun, and if I walked in any direction, I submit with questionnaires. Get out of must, no man knows to stand more than a day of being spied upon. And suddenly...
Excuse me, may I trouble you for a light?
Any chance I knew him. His name was masculine jumping and was an offensive creation. He was a sort of blood stockbroker who did his business by toying out his son and with young peers and foolish old ladies. He would call a mile on his barry to anything that had a title or a million. I had a business introduction to his firm when I came to London and was good enough to ask me to dinner at his club. There he sold me off at a great rate and patted about it just till his lovely of the creature turned me sick. I asked the man afterwards why nobody kicked him, and was told that Englishmen reverend the break of sex. Anyhow, there he was now, naturally dressed in a fine new car, obviously on his way to visit some of his smart friends, and a clue who I was.
Hello, Jopley. Well met, my lad.
Who the devil are you?
My name's Hannay, from Rhodesia, you remember?
Good God, the murderer!
Just so. And there'll be a second murder, my dear, if you don't do as I tell you. Give me that coat of yours, that cap too.
The identity bid for a blind with terror. Over my dirty trousers and box of soot, I put on his smart driving coat, buttoned high at the top, and thereby hid the difference of my collar. I stuck the cap on my head and added his glove to my get-up. The roadman in minutes was transformed into one of the neatest motorists in Scotland. On my Jopley's head, I carved silver unspeakable hat and told him to keep it there.
Now, my child, sit quite still and be a good boy. I mean you no harm. I'm only borrowing your car for an hour or two. But if you play me any tricks, and above all, if you open your mouth, as sure as there's a God above me, I'll wring your neck. Savvy?
Just don't hurt me.
I enjoyed that evening's ride. As the dark fell, I turned up a sight gun into an unfrequented corner of the hills. Soon the birds were left behind, then the farm, and there even the wayside carters. Here we stopped, and I obligedly reversed the car and restored to Joffrey his belongings.
1,000 thanks. There's more use in you than I thought. Now be off and find the police.
I'll get you!
As I sat on the hillside, I reflected on the various kinds of crimes I have now sampled. Contrary to general belief, I was not a murderer, but I had become an unholy liar, a famous impostor, and a highwayman with a marked taste for expensive motor cars. I spent the night on the hillside. It was a cold business, for I had neither coat nor waistcoat. There were in Mount Turnbull's keepings, as Scudder's little book, my watch, and most of all my pipe and tobacco pouch. Only my money accompanied me in my belt, and about half a pound of ginger biscuit in my trouser pocket. I supped off half the biscuit, and by warming myself deep into the heather, got some kind of warmth. So far I've been miraculously lucky. My chief trouble was that I was definitely hungry. I lay and tortured myself with the ginger biscuit, merely emphasized the aching void with the memory of all the good food I had thought of so little of in London. And longing hopefully for these dainties, I fell asleep. I woke up very cold and stiff about an hour after dawn, a little while to remember where I was. I laid myself on my arm and looked down into the valley, and there one looked at me lacing up my boots in mass haste. There were men below, not more than a quarter of a mile off, spaced out on the hillside like a fan and beating the heather. Arma had not been slow in looking for its revenge. I scrambled to the top of the ridge. My pursuer was pacing forward on the hillside and moving upwards. Creeping behind the skyline, I ran for maybe half a mile. I stowed myself. The line of stairs had changed direction. I pretended to retreat over the skyline, but instead went back to the road I was behind the ridge, overlooking my sleeping place. This had definitely called in local talent to the aid, and the men I could see had been killed in good or good. The exercise had warmed my blood, and I was beginning to enjoy myself. I trusted to the strength of my legs, but I was well aware that there behind me would be mainly the last of the land that was a heavy handicap. I triggered them had given me a fair start. About 20 minutes, and I had the woods of Glen behind me before I saw the first head of the pursuers. From that viewpoint, I was satisfied with seeing the pursuers moving up the hill and at the top of the glen, and hopefully all scent. It began to seem less of a game. The further behind were hefty men on their native health. Looking back, I saw that only 3 were following direct, and I guessed that the others had fetched off the circuit to cut me off. I had to get out of this hangar and to the pocket of the moor I have seen from the top. I put on a great spurt and got off the ridge and down into the moor before any figures appeared on the skyline behind me. Clearly the road ran to a hut, and I began to think of doing the same. Saw the face of an elderly gentleman merely watching me from within the glass veranda. Seated at the keyhole desk was a benevolent old gentleman with some papers and open volumes before him. They were brown and shiny with big glasses stuck in the end of his nose, and at the top of his head was bright and bare as a glass bottle.
You seem in a hurry, my friend.
Now I turned the window, it gave me a prospect across the moor and revealed figures half a mile, struggling towards the heather.
Ah, I see. A fugitive from justice, eh? Well, we'll go into the matter at our leisure. Meantime, I object to my privacy being broken in upon by the clumsy rural policeman. Go into my study and you will see 2 doors facing you. Take the one on the left and close it behind you. You will be perfectly safe.
Once again, I have found an unexpected sanctuary. Out of the house, sitting in a deep armchair, now regarded me with curious eyes.
Are they gone?
They have gone. I convinced them that you had crossed the hill. I do not choose that the police should come between me and one whom I am delighted to honor. This is a lucky morning for you, Mr. Richard Hannay.
As he spoke, his eyelids seemed to tremble to fall over his keen grey eyes. In a flash, the phrase of Scuttles came back to me when he described the man he most dreaded in the world. He said that he could hood his eyes like a hawk. God, that I walked straight into the enemy's headquarters. He seemed to have anticipated my intention, for he smiled gently and nodded to the door behind me. I turned and saw 2 men-servants who had covered me with pistols. He knew my name, but he had never seen me before, and as my reflecting darted across my mind, I saw a slender chance.
Don't know what you mean. And who are you calling Richard Hannay? My name's Ainsley.
So? But of course you have others. We won't quarrel about a name.
Putting myself together now, and I reflected at my garb, lacking coat and waistcoat and collar, with any weight now between me. I put on my solar face and shrugged my
I
shoulders.
suppose you're gonna give me up after all. And I call it a damn dirty trick. My God. I wish I'd never seen that cursed motor car. Here's the money and be damned to you.
Oh no, I shall not give you up. My friends and I will have a little private settlement with you. That is all. You know a little too much, Mr. Hannay. You're a clever actor, but not quite clever enough.
Spoke with assurance, but I could see the dawning of a doubt in his
For God's sake, stop jawing. Everything is against me. I haven't had a bit of luck since I came on shore at Leith. What's the harm in a poor devil with an empty stomach picking up some money he finds in a bust-up motor car? That's all I've done, and for that I've been chivied for 2 days by those blasted bobbies over those blasted hills. I tell you, I'm fair sick of it. You know what you like, old boy? Ned Ainsley's got no fight left in him.
Fear the doubt would gain.
Will you oblige me with the story of your recent doings?
I can't, Governor. I've not had a bite to eat for 2 days. Give me a mouthful of food, and then you'll hear God's truth.
Sound like a pig, or rather like Ned Ainsley, for I was keeping up my character. Then I told him my story.
They can have the money back for a fat lot of good it's done me. Those perishers are all down on a poor man. Now, if it had been you, Governor, that had found the quids, nobody would have troubled you.
You're a good liar, Hannay.
Stop fooling, damn you. I tell you, my name's Ainsley, and I've never heard of anyone called Hannay in my born days. I'd sooner have the police than you with your Hannays and your monkey-faced pistol tricks. No, Governor, I beg pardon. I don't mean that. I'm much obliged to you for the grub, and I'll thank you to let me go now the coast's clear.
It was obvious that he was badly puzzled. Never see me, and my appearance must have altered considerably from my photograph.
I do not propose to let you go. If you are what you say you are, you will soon have a chance of clearing yourself. If you are what I believe you are, I do not think you will see the light much longer.
Rang a bell and a servant appeared from the veranda.
I want the Lanchester in 5 minutes. There will be 3 to luncheon.
You'll know me next time, Governor.
Karl, stecke diesen in den Lagerraum. Und bis ich zurückkomme, bist du mir vor ihm verantwortlich.
Out of the room with a pistol in his ear.